Today, I want to share something special with you. I'm replaying episode 36 about embracing the student mindset when starting over because it perfectly complements the second video in my new YouTube series, Changing Careers After 40. You can continue to listen on this platform or watch the replay of this episode, which was enhanced with beautiful and calming visuals here on YouTube, along with the video series. In that video, I talk about building your digital thumbprint as the essential first step to changing careers, creating an online presence that showcases your emerging skills and knowledge. But here's the truth. Building that digital thumbprint means becoming a student again. It means learning new technology, creating content in unfamiliar formats, and putting yourself out there before you're ready. When I was transitioning from a fashion buyer to a content writer, I had to Google even the most basic questions like, what is WordPress? I felt that massive hit to my ego that comes with being a beginner again after decades of expertise. This affirmation in today's episode was my lifeline during that time. So after you listen to this episode about embracing that student mindset, head over to my YouTube channel, Oh Hello Midlife, to watch the second video in my career changing series. It's called Build This First Before Changing Careers. You'll see exactly how I applied this beginner mindset to create a digital presence that ultimately led to my successful career change. The link is in the show notes below. Now, let's dive into episode 36 on embracing the starting over mindset.
Today's affirmation: every step forward is valuable and mastery is a journey, not a destination. Starting over, that's the true essence of making a career change. Once the initial excitement and adrenaline of deciding to pivot careers settles, you soon realize that it's time to become a student again. For some, this may sound exciting, even invigorating. However, for others, particularly if you're in mid-career or a manager with direct reports, this shift can be quite an adjustment. In your current role, you're likely used to people seeking you out for guidance and advice. But now you'll find yourself in the position of listening, learning, and yes, most likely making mistakes. Becoming a student again will be a challenge to your ego. But in this episode, I'll share 5 essential tips to help adopt a beginner's mindset, accepting that starting over means embracing the process of learning with openness, humility, and the willingness to grow from every experience, no matter how big or small. Hello and welcome to the Mindful Career Change Podcast. I'm your host, Valerie, a career change counselor and guide. In our goal setting episode number 34, we discussed enhancing our success chances by incorporating the 3 S's into your goals. While it's not necessary to have listened to that episode to follow this one, I'll share the episode in the show notes in case you're curious about the 3 S's. For today, we're focusing on one key S, becoming a student. I always like to recommend that one of your goals should involve learning something new. And for career changers, that's inevitable. You're entering a whole new field and profession, so the start of your journey begins with becoming a student again. You may find yourself going back to school, signing up for online courses, or even the need to pass a test for certifications. These are all standard and straightforward steps in changing careers. However, if you don't adopt the mindset of a student, you might be met with a rude awakening, a hit to your ego that could derail your progress or even lead you to contemplate quitting. But you may be thinking, I was a great student in school, I've got this. Or you're a high performer at work, you thrive on learning new things. Yes, this may be true in your current role and place in your career, but trust me, as someone who regards themselves as a high performer and changed their career after 40, You're not immune to the disappointing failures and experiencing the ominous feeling of a knowledge gap. I remember moments of intense frustration, like when I was banging my head on the keyboard while developing a website for my blog, failing my first attempt to become a certified search engine specialist, or more recently, crying to my husband about how I couldn't grasp the technology for recording and mixing a podcast show. In each of these situations, I recall telling myself, this should be easy. How hard can it be? And that, in hindsight, was probably my first mistake, approaching the situation as if I was already a professional instead of adopting a beginner's mindset. I call this the professional delusion. It's when you expect things to work seamlessly, similar to your experiences in your current work or adult life, and you forget what it's like to be a student again, to approach situations with curiosity and humility. When you're learning something new, it's essential to set aside your ego and shift into a beginner's mode. This means leading with curiosity rather than being antagonized by assumptions. So here are 5 tips I wish I was told to keep in mind in the midst of learning something new to embrace a beginner's mindset. Number 1, set realistic expectations. Understand that mastery doesn't happen overnight. Set realistic expectations for your learning curve and progress, allowing yourself time to absorb the information and accepting that the rate you're learning is not a reflection of your competency. Number 2, practice self-compassion. Being kind to yourself when you encounter setbacks. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with grace and understanding, the same empathy you would offer to a friend in a similar situation. Number 3, seek support and guidance. Don't hesitate to seek support from mentors, colleagues, or even a professional network. They can provide valuable firsthand advice and experience, offer different perspectives, and, of course, encouragement. Number 4, celebrate small wins. Acknowledging and celebrate your small achievements and progress. This helps build confidence and motivation. No matter how tiny the task, it just brings you one step closer to the next level. And lastly, reflect regularly. Reflect on what you've learned, how you've grown, and where you can improve. Reflection helps to gain perspective on your journey. I like to write down my progression in my journal at the end of every month. It's a nice way to see how far you've come and grown since the beginning of your learning phase. These 5 tips, if kept in mind, can significantly help navigate you becoming a student again and embracing the beginner's mindset. But beyond just knowing these tips, it's important to internalize them, to make them a part of your daily approach to learning and growing. So let's embrace and adopt a beginner's mindset on your journey to becoming a student again, in life and in your new profession, with an empowering affirmation practice. Let's begin the affirmation with a quick body scan, releasing any tension or energy that doesn't serve you. And take a cleansing breath in and out. I'll begin by reciting the affirmation twice. While you hear the affirmation, imagine you're writing the affirmation down on a whiteboard or you're watching someone write it on the board for you. This will help with memorization. So let's begin. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. I'll repeat the affirmation again, but this time I want you to repeat it out loud to yourself so you can make a connection. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. I'll repeat the affirmation again. Once again, say it out loud to yourself. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. Now, imagine seeing yourself studying and absorbing all the information, or acing a test. I'll repeat this affirmation again. Visualize this for yourself in full color. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. I'll repeat it one last time and give you a moment to let it sink in. Every step forward is valuable, and mastery is a journey, not a destination. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes if you had them closed. And if it feels comfortable to you, place your hand over your heart to help seal in this affirmation practice with self-love and care. This affirmation is yours to recite and practice for 21 days at least once a day. It's most effective before you go to bed at night or when you wake up in the morning before you start your day. You can take your affirmation practice a step further by making your affirmations sticky. Write this affirmation down on a sticky note and place it on your laptop or on your bathroom mirror as a reminder that you are capable of adopting a beginner's mindset. You can also turn this affirmation into a mantra. Mastery is a journey, not a destination, and repeat it to yourself while going on a walk, working out, or silently saying it to yourself as you prepare for the day. And if you're curious to learn more on how to make your affirmations sticky, which is an acronym on how to make your affirmation practice more effective and sustainable, go back to episode 1 where I walk you through step by step on how to make your affirmations sticky so it can have a transformative impact in your career-changing journey. Make sure to subscribe and bookmark this episode so you'll have it handy whenever you need a quick guide of this affirmation. If you found this episode helpful, please share it with a family member or a friend. Or please help rate this podcast wherever you're listening. Just go back to the show's page and hit the rate button with the stars. Your support will help other career changers discover this podcast so it can grow and blossom. Thank you for joining me, and most importantly, thank yourself for taking the time to make a mindful career change. I'll talk to you soon.